How is it going, everyone? Welcome to more Gran Turismo 4. Ideally, I wanna do some championships today, but I don't know if they are gonna precisely go as expected. Well, it's even less so if they decide to crash like they won the other day. Let's hope not. So, first of all, well, I need to equip the car. We're not going anywhere otherwise. So it's the racing car, this one, right? Well, judging by the name, this is supposed to be a car that made it in Le Mans. So it says it's a concept car. I don't know. But anyways, the championship should be this one. I hope that it's not extremely good, but considering the price and the fact that it requires international A license, I gotta assume that it's not gonna be free to win, right? It's hard to tell. It's gonna be one of those where the... Okay. Wait a second. Oh no, never mind, GTR. Okay, so these are touring cars. I was about to say, that Calsonic, isn't that a Le Mans prototype? But no, it isn't. Okay, judging by the points, it should be fine. I hope. Judging by the point, we should be doing fine here. Also, how is it going, Mateo? Yes, it is an emulator. So to be fair, this is one of those games that I actually have on a PS2. That's how I originally played it some years ago, after all. This one right here, it's being emulated. Also, that car in front of me is supposed to be pretty much the exact same car that I'm using, but probably the real car instead of the concept version. You speak Spanish? Well, I do too. But I speak English on stream. Now, I'm surprised that it says that this is 10 points only. Like, this seems to be very balanced, all things considered. I'm probably gonna leave the other guys in the dirt very quickly, but... Well, okay, never mind. Maybe I will leave them in the dirt in a couple laps. But in this case, unless I manually purchase a racing, like a touring car here, not like there's much to do, you know? Of the cars that I currently have, this is the only one that can compete here. And this is a championship without restrictions, so theoretically you could bring anything. But if I were to bring anything slower, it's not gonna win, so this is the only option I have currently. Though, maybe something that might spice it up is the tire usage, because it's only been one lap and my tires are already green. Is that normal? It should be fine. Besides, if anything, I think that the tire usage is something that my opponents suffer more. I noticed that in other races, some cars that used to be in a higher position, they used to start losing positions out of nowhere. So I think there is tire usage for opponents. Well, I mean, there is, yes, but the thing is that it's something that seems to be noticeable in one way or another. So, it's essentially the first time in this playthrough that I'm using a racing car for a competition. Well, outside of that one weird rally track that I did when I had this thing equipped. But yeah, aside from that, the first time. Yeah, this car is doing quite well. Maybe one thing I could try, because I don't know how the racing aids work in this game. I think that this one, for example, is this one, and probably all of the ones that I use have like a minimum of racing aids, but I'm not sure where it says that. I don't think you really have a setting screens like in the previous game. I mean, you have a setting screen, so it's like game settings rather than the car settings. Now, if you want to access your car settings, you gotta go to the manufacturer and, you know, actually see it there. And that's the only way. Now, judging by the average time here, well, the race is most likely gonna last 9 minutes, right? Like if we take that lap multiplied by 5, yeah, it's 9 minutes. Let's assume that you do 130. You get 3, 4.5, 6, 7, and well, actually it's 8 minutes, right? Will be 8. And there are 10 races in this championship. 10 is a lot. It's possible that this whole championship takes like 2 hours from the stream. Well, not 2 hours. It will be an hour and a half, assuming every race is the same length as this one. Because you never know, like, especially taking into account the championship with the old cars, that championship has, like, for the most part, each race is 2 laps in like a medium-sized, you know, in a medium-sized track. And then all of a sudden you get a race at Nürburgring. I mean, it's only 1 lap, but 1 lap with those slowest cars is like the equivalent of 3 other races. So this one could pull it off as well. Especially, I don't think they are gonna include Nürburgring here, but they are probably gonna include Le Mans. And if they include Le Mans, this is easily gonna be long. Know how many laps? If it's only 1 lap in Le Mans, it should be more or less the same time as these other races. But if it's 2 laps, that's gonna be long. I mean, Le Mans is the second longest track in this game. You know, obviously only second to Nürburgring. Well, this first race was very easy, and no, the tire usage wasn't a problem. They didn't even get to yellow territory here. They were fine. Also, like, except for one car, every other car is a Nissan. Okay. We have some Nissan supremacy here. Oh, oh yeah, I gotta remember to save state here in the menus in case this thing decides to crash again. Or you can also, if you go back to the main menu, the tournament gets saved, but you know, it takes a little bit longer. So these are 12 laps, but this is the short version of Suzuka, I wanna believe. Correct, okay. I was about to say, if we're talking about 12 laps in the full version of Suzuka, this will take an eternity, but no, it's on the short version. That's not a problem. So I think maybe I'm wrong, and this is something that the PS3 Gran Turismos had. But I remember there being a mechanic where it was an engine limiter. Like you could limit the power of the engine because there are some specific events that have a limit in the amount of horsepower that is allowed, right? I don't remember if it was in this game or if it was already in Gran Turismo 5 that's a mechanic. I mean, that's a way to probably make these ones more exciting. Just limit your horsepower instead of using the stock settings. And not to mention that you will also get more points from these races. I think the one thing that is probably gonna make a more interesting race is if the start is a rolling start. On standing start, it seems that it's gonna be very easy for me to just overtake them and leave them eating dust. But considering that this is intended to be representative of touring car, I don't think that there is a rolling start setting. There could be one, I don't know. It seems that here the CPU is fumbling even worse than in the previous track, and that's saying something. Like they are not even close. It wouldn't surprise me if before the end of this race I will lap a car. It's looking like it will be that way. But we will see. But it is definitely true that this is the absolute most fitting car that I can use here. Despite how hard I'm destroying them, like how badly I'm leaving them behind, it's the most fitting car. I mean, as you already saw, that one of the opponents uses what's essentially the same car as this one, but like with a different coat of paint. So it might also be that the AI is just legitimately not very good. Because if the AI was better, I don't think that with these cars they will be behind by this much. I don't know if there is I don't think there is a difficulty setting for the AI, right? Well, in fact, I don't think there is a difficulty setting for anything. Except for the driving, like, if you want to, or at least it was like that in Gran Turismo 3, that you can kinda disable some things. Because here's the thing, I'm playing right now with a D-pad. But playing with a D-pad, let's assume that the game recognizes every input of the D-pad as if I'm fully steering to the right and to the left. Since the D-pad, they are buttons, they are not analog. Well, they might have been analog in a real PS2 controller, but the thing is that, well, these ones I know are not. So, in that scenario, if the game interprets a left or right button press as a full steering to either side, this will basically be undrivable. So what you can tweak, I think, is that, like, that smoothering interpretation of the input that the game has, instead of interpreting it raw. I also wonder what happens when you use the analog. Actually, I could do that to mix it up a little bit, right? Right now I'm using the analog. So how does this change? Well, I mean, you obviously gotta get used to it. Yeah, doesn't seem to be that big of a difference. I could do a full lap with the analog just to see what the time difference is gonna be. Like, I'm most likely gonna be faster simply with the D-pad just because I'm used to it. But okay, let's see. Compared to the best lap, it's slightly worse, but it didn't change that much. The thing is that with the D-pad, it's very useful to just do very short presses, right? You press like left, left, left multiple times to kinda slowly turn the car. With the analog, you cannot really do that, or at least not consistently. Since basically there is a travel distance from the starting position to the end. You will have to move your thumb a lot, not to mention also kind of put in a lot of work into the analog itself. Now, something that I say that will happen in the previous track is actually happening in this one. Look at the front left tire. Actually, it seems that the tire usage might be relevant here, though it's weird because in terms of the amount of time that we've been driving, I think this is kind of the same as the previous track, and yet it seems that in this one the tires are struggling a little bit more. Well, I say tires, but it's only that one. Well, the front right one is also suffering a little bit, but I don't think it's gonna be relevant. So keep in mind that when they get red, they become extremely hard to use. Obviously, it's not necessary to enter the pits, but if one of the following races is longer than this one, it might be necessary. Well, in fact, you can see that I went off track there because this thing is not really steering that well anymore. I actually have to start braking a lot. It will be enough for one more lap, but now, since it's actually like bright tomato red, you will actually see how it gets when you can barely steer. And you can see that even the game, the suggested gear when you take a corner, even that is changing. Like the game is just suggesting you lower gears for the corners because it knows that your downforce is not as good as it was at the beginning of the race. You can tell that it is struggling. But this is the final lap, so it's not like it matters. But that will make things interesting if the following races are longer than this one and they require me to enter the pits. And assuming my opponents don't pit in, the interesting thing will be, well, the need to enter the pits and to have enough of an advantage compared to my opponents in order to, well, to win. Of course. Next race. I didn't see. I think this one is Seoul, right? Like, I only seen the first 3 races, but I don't know what comes after this. And this one is actually rolling start, so might be harder to reach the opponents. That's exactly what I want. And in a track like this, considering that it doesn't have that many corners, I think the tire usage is not gonna be that bad. You can see that this track is mostly straights. So the few corners that it has, I don't think it's gonna make up enough tire usage to worry about, right? If this guy closing me in like that. As you can see, with this one being a rolling start, reaching the first place is not gonna happen on the first lap. It will happen a little bit later. Worry not, we will still reach him. That's a certainty. With 10 laps, I will probably be worrying if this were 2 laps. With 2 laps, I probably will overtake him at the end, but I will be very close to not overtaking him. But yeah, with 10 laps, obviously I'm gonna overtake before the end. You can see that the rolling start makes races more, well, they make it harder to beat. You can also already tell that the length on this race overall will be longer than the previous races. This is looking to be a 10-minute race compared to the 8 minutes of the previous 2. Regardless, assuming that each race is 10 minutes, 10 races will be 100 minutes. And 100 minutes is, well, an hour and 40 minutes. Not that bad. We're gonna overtake this guy soon. But actually, from the outside... from the outside... got him. In real life, that's something that is not easy to do. You usually don't overtake someone from the outside. It is possible, but usually take the inside line. See what I said earlier, that if this was 2 laps, I don't know if I will win. Well, I wouldn't have won if it was 2 laps. But yeah, with 10 we have more than enough time to to do anything. And I heavily doubt that the tires will be an issue here. Because technically this is a longer race than the previous one, but most of these are straight, so the main tire usage in the previous race were on the front tires, which means it's because of steering, not really because of overall usage. So it should be fine. And well, it has to be fine, because pitting in is not an option unless they also pit in. That reminds me, I have no clue what tires I'm using. I think in this game, when you use a racing car, the stock tires are racing hard, I think. And racing hard have very good durability. Hey Sanshai, how is it going? I'm doing well. Doing the first racing championship in the game. Well, technically the first one that I decided to pick, because I think you do have some other ones. But yeah, it's the first one I picked. Are well, nice. Know that I'm really looking forward to, and maybe I'm saying this now and I will regret saying it later, but I'm really looking forward to complete all of the events in this game that are not one-make races, that is. Not well, that and endurances. Anything that is not one make an endurance, I wanna beat it all. I really do. Yeah, one make races. The issue with one make races is that they are a shit ton, and they also require to have a specific car. So you will need a lot of money to buy every single car they require, and also the fact that they are a lot. So yeah. And well, endurances, with the fact that they are 24-hour endurances, no thank you. So yeah. Everything else, I mean, for now. You gotta understand that on games like this, I feel at home. I legitimately think that this is one of the best games in the PS2 library. Really has to be up there. Because when I think of the PS2 library, I tend to think about, well, you know, Devil May Cry 3, God of War. In my particular case, the Budokai Tenkaichi games. Well, the Pro Evolution Soccer games as well. Those games, the PS2 era, were definitely a step up from PS1. Yeah, PS2 has an amazing catalog. It really does. I mean, it's not in vain that a lot of people call the PS2 the best console ever. It kinda is. It kinda is, and you have a lot of amazing games. Like, a lot. Uh-oh. I almost went too far. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that this game is definitely up there to me. Well, the Burnout games as well. Burnout is a fantastic series. The PS2 games are definitely the highlight. Now that I have this good PC that can comfortably run the PS2 emulator, I think that there are so many games I have access to that I haven't before, and this one is one of them. I mean, obviously I already played this game on a real PS2, but streaming this from a real PS2 will be a pain in the ass. Not to mention, it will be actually worse for the stream. You know that playing a game like this with no enhancements in terms of like model upscaling, like it will look very bad on stream. Well, on stream and on my computer as well. But by my computer I mean my monitor, because technically if I were to capture a PS2, well, you could capture it with software, I guess, but like if you do a classic capture, it will simply be the monitor, the one that processes the signal. Tekken and Soul Calibur from the PS2 era as well, yeah. Tekken 5, I remember it back there to me, looking at the graphics and being like, it's like one of the best looking games ever. And it still is. Like the way the art style works with the models and the stages in that game, it looks fantastic. Even modern Tekken games don't look that good. Like yes, they have more polygons and obviously more fancy effects, but when it comes to the cohesion between the models and the art style and everything, Tekken 5 is amazing. Just very well done. But yeah, Soul Calibur I personally haven't really played. That's a funny thing about Soul Calibur. I never played a Soul Calibur game, even though I know how they are. Oh, this is a specific version of Fushi Speedway. Is that it's from the 90s. And what's so special about it? Is it because of the chicane? Because I think there is a version without the chicane, but is that the only difference, or is there another difference? Maybe it's also this corner that you take the left side instead of the right one. It's insane the way the CPU behaves in this game. How it tries to push you away like you are nothing. That's messed up. But yeah, the Soul Calibur series, I think I at some point I should play them on stream. But I don't know. I think that some of them have very, very long story modes. Kinda like Dead or Alive, as we're speaking about 3D fighting games. Dead or Alive also, I think, has very long story modes, like with cutscenes and all of that. At least I know Dead or Alive 5 has. Now, I don't think this track is gonna make my tires getting worn either, right? I think it's just an exception with Suzuka Circuit simply for having those super messed up corners. Like those corners in Suzuka Circuit are evil. But these ones are just like very regular corners in comparison. And you have like this first corner that is a little bit rough, and you have two slow corners and then the chicane. and that's it. I mean, if you actually count the corners, you only have like, well, 6, I guess. Because the first one was the previous one. The second one is this one. And you have the third one being this one. That is supposed to be a fast corner. The fourth one is this one here. And then, I don't know if in real life, if a chicane is counted as 2 corners or as 1. I mean, if you ask me, I would consider this a single corner. I mean, I guess technically it's 2. And then the final one being this fast corner that leads into the main straight that you can do at full speed, so... But even so, I guess it's still a corner. Taking that into account, you only essentially have 6 corners in this track. Like how it looks like the car is smiling, like it's very happy. Very, very happy car. So the good thing is that on yesterday's stream, no song blocked the video. So basically the only one that needed to be removed is Summer Song, and that's it. That's nice. Pretty cool. You know, something that I could do to spice it up is play with this camera. Or maybe this one. That's even spicier, I think. A different perspective, isn't it? Well, the UI also changes. Here you can see both the speedometer and the tachometer. You can also see the turbo. I think the engine is louder. And I mean, I guess it makes sense since the camera is closer to the engine. Wonder how I will do a lap like this. It is the one camera that is supposed to be like the most realistic one. But at this point of the series, they still didn't have the cockpit view. In some of the next Gran Turismo games, they only have it for some cars. Because some other cars don't even have an interior design. So you don't have a cockpit view. But I think in this game, no car has a cockpit view. Like this is the closest that you have. Have you ever played with a steering wheel? No. I don't really have space to put a steering wheel. The closest that I played to a steering wheel was in Mario Kart Wii. You had an accessory where you could put the Wiimote in something that looks like a racing wheel. But I mean, it's essentially the same as using the Wiimote, you know? Which obviously, as you would expect, has no force feedback or anything. You just wave it in the air. But yeah, that's the closest I've been to playing with a racing wheel. Like an actual racing wheel that you put in your desk, no. Because, as I say, I don't really have a space to... And if I want to buy a racing wheel with force feedback, I will have to give an eye and a leg to buy one. They are extremely expensive. Even the shittiest one is very expensive. So how is it going, Kyle? We're just here using the using this camera to try to spice things up a little bit, but I'm not doing badly with this camera, you know? I will say that I'm doing very well. In fact, if you look at the best lap, it's 1:24.9, and this lap is gonna be actually a better lap. So yeah, you can tell that I don't do badly with that camera. I expected it to be like super hard to get used to, but no. At the same time, it's pretty clear that a car like this, that it's a very good car, I mean it's a racing car, obviously it's gonna be a lot better. So the replay, you only have these two cameras. Basically you have TV camera and like an in camera here. That's interesting. Whatever. I play better with that camera even though I don't like it. I don't think I play better, but I don't play worse, which is what I thought. Okay, save stage just in case. Though on the next race, since it's the halfway through the championship, I'm gonna go back to save on like an actual save with the menu. Oh, this is an oval, really? I think this is the same oval as in the previous game, right? Yeah, an oval race. Well, since the AI is not gonna fuck up because of the corners, this might not be that easy, right? We will see. Also, technically what I just did is not legal. In oval races like this one, like going into the banking or well, whatever it's called, that's not legal unless you are trying to avoid an accident. But if you do that to overtake, unless you're in the very last lap, you are gonna get penalized because it's not allowed. You know, even with the AI not really fucking up with the corners, I'm very easily gonna get them. Well, here since I already catch the slipstream, that also doesn't help them. NASCAR fans, when they see the same cars go in a circle for the 10 millionth time. I mean, the weird thing here is the fact that you have these cars doing this. I don't think in real life these cars race in ovals. Or if they race in ovals, they race in a specific variant that allows them to have corners. Then Sunshine should say NASCAR sucks. And just like that. Well, the next game has NASCAR. Gran Turismo 5. So yeah. Whenever I get to play that game, you will be seeing NASCAR. And one thing I do agree about the NASCAR cars that sucks is that it looks like it feels like you're driving a brick with wheels. Like those motherfuckers don't steer. Basically, the downforce is almost non-existent. NASCAR is the definition of insanity. You think so? Well, the thing about NASCAR is that, doing the same thing. I mean, see, here's the thing. Playing a NASCAR game like this, in the sense that you're using a gamepad and you're driving against the AI, Yeah, that's probably not very interesting, but keep in mind that in real life the NASCAR drivers are going over 300 kilometers per hour with other like 30 competitors at the same time, very close to them, because these are ovals usually, so you have them all very close together. So you definitely, like, it is insanity, but not for the reason you think it is. Not for being the same thing over and over, but basically for being a death trap. You know how easily they can, you know, do a wrong move and have a very fucked up crash. Because these things go very fast. Like, these things are, well, the NASCAR cars, I mean. They are selling Honda on the side. Yes, they are selling the sumo wrestler Honda. Who is it going wasabi? I didn't even see the... Oh, there it is, the Honda advertisement. Yeah, no, they are not selling the wrestler. It will be interesting to have a model of Honda just doing a headbutt, and that's like the car. Basically Honda doing a headbutt and you drive that. It will be amusing. Oh, sorry, I went down the banking. It's okay, you're not gonna get disqualified. You can do worse shit than that and still not get disqualified, so no need to panic. These cars aren't really made with ovals like this in mind. Like, these cars are more made for like strong performance on corners and good acceleration and stuff like that. They don't specialize in reaching top speed usually. To the point that it surprises me that they even use this track for this championship. This track is not fitting at all for this category. But yeah, whatever, I don't really mind. Really like the way the car looks from the front. Very cool design. Usually if you just go down to the banking like this, you can cut, well, it's pretty much cutting the track. Just that it's not as offensive as doing it in a chicane or something like that, you know? Alright. That was something. I don't really have much to add to that. That was... Oh wait, this is supposed to be Twin Ring Motegi, really? I didn't realize. Really supposed to be that? Huh. I thought it was the same ring as the same track as the previous game. Also, we can do a quick save, so I'm gonna show how it looks. Basically, go back to the main menu, and the game tells you, oh, there is a tournament that is in progress. And if you try to do almost anything, like for example trying to get out of this mode, it doesn't let you. It's like, hey, There is a championship in progress, dude, and it gives you the option to continue it. But that's cool, because I think the previous game did not have this option. Like, I think that in the previous game, if you were in the middle of a championship and you wanted to, like, you know, turn off the console or something, I don't think you could. I think that you were bound. Maybe I'm wrong and it was possible to do it in some way, but I don't think you could. I mean, obviously with save states it's not a problem, but on a real console you don't have save states, you know? So, Laguna Seca the other day gave us a very good race. Like, I actually overtook the first place, like, before the final corner of the race. And it was pretty close to not being a victory. So let's see if this one is also like that, though I kinda doubt it. It's simply because these races are so long that the chances that you are not gonna have enough time to overtake the leader, like, it's not gonna happen. They are very low. Well, very low or non-existent. You will have to constantly fuck up for that to happen. You can tell that already before the second lap, this guy is already on my scope. Now, it went a little bit long in there, don't you think? I guess here, if you wanted to make this more challenging, you could use the NSX. It's one of the cars that the opponent uses. I think that one is supposed to be a lot slower, but I don't know. This car though is very good. Like, I'm pretty sure the only thing this car will not be able to beat is Le Mans prototypes. It seems that it really has everything. It's also a car that at top speed almost reaches 300 kilometers per hour. So I think it gets much better than this outside of the racing prototypes. But yeah, there are also competitions like this one for other regions, like the American ones and the European ones. So in those, if you actually want to win them, you cannot enter with this because it's a Japanese car. So that wouldn't count, unfortunately. It is the way it is. Oh, it's 7 laps. Oh, it was 6. Not like it makes that much of a difference anyway. So hey, did you do any challenge for yourself, Kyle, in these events? Because I know that a lot of people, they look at the A points that they get from winning one of these races and they are like, okay, if I don't get at least 100, I'm not gonna like bother winning, right? Like, if I don't do 100, at least it doesn't count. Did you do that too, or you just didn't give a shit? How was it? My personal situation, I don't really care. Didn't need to. The brand ones are enough as a challenge for me. Oh, you mean the one make ones? My issue is that I don't wanna do those because there are a lot of them, and also the fact that you need to purchase a specific car for each one of them. I wouldn't mind if they provided me the car, but the fact that I have to go out of my way to get it is annoying. There was a Mazda one where you had to use a stock car and that took a while. Well, I could try. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, my objective is definitely not beating all of the one make races because getting all the required cars will just be a pain in the ass, and it probably will require farming as well. Like, I don't think I will casually have enough money to purchase them all. You know, I don't think it works that way. I do like the idea of doing a stock car competition. But yeah, I guess it depends if the car that is required is also useful for something else. Problem is that with this championship, like beating this championship basically makes it so I don't really have that many remaining Japanese challenges that are, you know, that need a car that I don't have. So there are challenges that require cars from the 70s, 80s and 90s. So that one might make me get one of those. Perhaps, maybe. It's possible. It's a possibility. So the one that I'm mostly interested today is doing the old car championship. That one can be pretty interesting. Could be. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I mean, it's gonna be very slow, that's for sure. I think that ironically the hardest races are the ones that are short. These longer races tend to not be a problem because assuming that you go faster than the other cars, there is no way that you are not gonna overtake them fast enough. But if you're slower, there's also the thing that you most likely are not gonna reach them at all. So, if your idea is to win, the chances are that you will overtake them very quickly. You know? Almost failed the corkscrew there. Well, I kinda did fail it. The game giving you 10 points definitely tells you that your car is way too good. But it could be worse, it could only give you 1 point. The idea is that since these cars usually have like very specific horsepower, not like there's much you can do. So this is Kyle's favorite truck. Kyle absolutely loves this truck, and it makes sense. It's such an amazing truck, you know. How wouldn't it be? Just look at the way it looks. I think Kyle gets PTSD from this. I really want to see if I'm gonna rage at this at whenever the race he's referring to comes up. Maybe I will, but I don't think so. We will see. What the hell? These people are fucking each other up. I don't even have to show up. They are already misbehaving by themselves. The AI in this game is like has no awareness of the situation. They just do their thing and that's it. And if their thing involves crashing against someone, they give 0 fucks. Or if that even means getting themselves crashed, they also don't care. You know? It's a very chaotic AI, I guess you can say. Very, very chaotic. Enough time playing around. You're gonna let me pass? Okay. Basically, I wanted to overtake him in a more clean way, but if I keep doing that, I'm never gonna reach the first place, you know? We're fine. The first place will be reached, whether it wants it or not. Like all the... oh shit. Damn it, I was paying attention to the... Come on, dude, I was paying attention to the lights. Was distracted by this truck's beauty. God damn it. It's okay, you know, I just wanted to make the race more exciting. Since I'm saying that overtaking these guys and staying on the lead is so free, wanted to make it so it's not free. Okay, it's time to put the racing chip on. We are not losing this one. We're not losing anything, that's for sure. Not this one and not anything else. Don't go against the wall this time. So yeah, how are you doing? I'm gonna overtake you, you know that, right? On the next corner, you should watch out. Oh, already trying to block me? Hey, come on, those movements are not legal and you know it. You're doing some illegal movements here. Hey, if you actually try to overtake these guys in a clean way, like you will actually have to waste a lot of time behind them because they don't care about being clean. So if you care about, like, you know, I don't want to do any collision against the opponents and shit, that doesn't really depend that much on you. Like, these guys are just very bloodthirsty in the way they drive. Like, zero fucks given. Like, going full blocking like it's nothing, you know? And when you are in parallel, they trying to drive you off the track. Hey, these guys are out for blood. There is no doubt about that. Hey, once you don't have anyone to overtake, it basically becomes a time trial. Now, something that I don't understand is why in some races on the top right it says best lap and in others it says total time. Like, does it depend on if it's a rolling start or a standing start or what? Not sure exactly what it is. Yeah, I guess it's something like that. Well, it's also the fact that the way in this track particularly, the way the pianos are laid out is very dangerous. Because the fastest way of doing these corners is by going through the pianos, but the way they are put is like you're definitely gonna jump in them, no matter what. It's essentially a bump, but if you want to take the corners the fastest way possible, you have to. And obviously it's not the only track with something like that, but still messed up. I wonder for what competitions this Hong Kong track was used. I don't know. But it looks like visually this track looks fantastic. I would probably even say that it's my favorite looking track in the game so far. Maybe there is still one I haven't seen yet. Well, that Italian one that happens in the coast is very pretty as well, but I think this one might be the prettiest one, without a doubt. Lucerne, Paris. You've seen Paris. I think I did, but I don't remember it. I think I seen it on a license test. Like, I don't think I seen the whole track. I don't know. Well, if we get a European car and we do the European challenges, we will see it again. But actually, I think I know which one that is. Yeah, it's the one that I first said isn't this Rome circuit, and then I realized it wasn't Rome, it was Paris. I don't know, I didn't really like that one that much. Visually. Well, and as a track, not really either, but maybe I'm confusing it with the New York one. So I think the New York one is also relatively similar to that, at least in track layout. Well, I'll see when I see it again, because I only seen it once. Well, once in this playthrough. Like, yeah, when I was younger, I probably seen it a lot more, but I don't think I remember what I did when I was younger, you know. So yeah, I'm afraid that it's not possible. Now, how will it be to use this camera in a super narrow track like this one? Because using the chase camera here allows you to have a lot more context on where you are going. But here being so close to where you are... Oh, look at the mirror. You see how the mirror doesn't render any of the buildings? That's pretty funny. Huh. Is that an emulation thing, or does that happen in the real game as well? If it happens on the real game, I understand why they will do that. Obviously, they don't want to render everything twice, because rendering it once, it's probably already taking the PS2 to its limit. But damn, that looks very ugly in the mirror. It happens in real life too, then. Didn't know that when you look at a rear view mirror in real life, you basically see the dark dimension. But yeah, it's basically the only thing that is rendered here is the ground, the asphalt. Well, and I guess the walls. But aside from that, nothing else is being rendered. Now, there is an interesting effect. When you crash while you're in this camera, there is a little shake effect that blurs your vision. That's pretty cool. Like, makes it look like you really crash. You will see. See, like, there is a shake and a little blurry thing. That's pretty funny. It makes it look like it kinda hurt, right? Pretty cool. But yeah, the thing is that I don't wanna use that camera. I don't have any issue on using it. But since this is not Ridge Racer, where you kinda need to see who's behind you to block, it doesn't really matter. So here we have Twin Ring Motegi, but the actual full road course. Also doing a rolling start. Okay, no problem. Now I wonder what the reward of this game is, of this championship it's gonna be. Because it's most likely gonna be one of these cars, right? But it's like anything that I could get from here is gonna be a downgrade comparing to what I'm using. At the same time, considering that this car I got it from a tournament that had nothing to do with touring cars, maybe you never know, the reward for winning this is a Le Mans prototype. It could be. Because, I mean, after all, this car is like way better than the cars used in the competition that I won, that I got it as a reward from. So it's possible that in return, here, they give you a car that is way better to the ones that are being used. I mean, it doesn't particularly have to be a Le Mans prototype, but... Well, maybe it's a rally car, you never know. That could happen too. I mean, what's most likely sure is that it's a Japanese car, simply because it's a Japanese exclusive competition. But yeah, if it is a Japanese car, it could easily be a Japanese rally car. You know, the Subaru Impreza or, you know, the Toyota Celica. But actually, I could name like half of them. Half of them are Japanese, pretty much. Well, in this game, I mean. Oh, someone is gonna be overtaken here. It only takes one lap to reach this guy. Nothing more, nothing less. Just like that. So, yeah, I see the oval at the distance. You know that the oval was supposed to be between Ring Motegi. You can kinda see it. So I'm not so sure. It also doesn't help that the game only renders whatever it feels like rendering. Sometimes it renders the stuff that is a lot closer, but sometimes it also renders the stuff that is a lot further. Maybe what I thought was the oval is not really the oval. Maybe I'm making shit up. That's possible. Maybe I made that up. But the oval is supposed to be part of this location. Maybe the oval is something that is inside. Because in a lot of cases, you have a track that tends to have the oval be the outside part of the track, while the road version of the track is inside of the oval. But this one, well, to be fair, I just don't see it at all. Inside or outside, and the rendering distance certainly doesn't help. I mean, when you see that wall at the distance, you think that that's part of the oval, and it has to be. Hey, that has to be the oval, right? It's just that, yeah, I'm pretty sure it is now that I see those flags there. Pretty sure I remember seeing those flags from the oval as well, so... Interestingly enough, here the oval is inside the road course. That means that this place is gigantic. This means that this place is, well, I mean, not as gigantic as Nürburgring, I guess, but like, can you imagine owning this track? You will have to be like a billionaire to own such an insane amount of land. I mean, obviously I will assume that there are a lot of other companies that have like partial ownership in it or something like that. And when you think about it, with how most tracks in real life are gigantic. Like it's pretty much like owning a whole park. Like you really have to be. Yeah, how many circuits do you have, right? Actually, I think that that's something very interesting to think about. Because if a single person has full ownership over a track, that person is essentially a billionaire. Like, having ownership over so many, like, so much area of land, and also obviously getting paid for hosting races there, which is also a reason why I say that it's most likely a co-ownership with some other companies rather than something that a single person owns. That certainly feels pretty cool. Like imagine a day that there are no races at all and you have the track all for yourself. That's crazy. The life of billionaires is something that it's just hard to imagine in general. It's just having something like this. I also imagine that with the money they have, they could also afford like super expensive sport cars as well. So they could, if they feel like it's just bring a very fancy sport cars and do a couple laps in their own track. I also will assume that whoever owns such an insane amount of land like this probably pays a shit ton of taxes. And obviously the whole maintenance that you have to do to the track. I mean, you need people working on the grass. You need people also cleaning the asphalt from time to time. And if you host races, you definitely need like people from safety organizations to constantly check for irregularities. But it's pretty easy to imagine it as something like, oh shit, I own all this land, I can do all that I please with it. But in reality, it also brings probably a lot of responsibilities. And especially in such a gigantic place, anything that happens inside of it is gonna be your responsibility in one way or another. If someone like comes to spectate a race and for some reason they murder another person during an event, I mean, obviously it's not like you're gonna be charged with murder, but the point is that you will be part of whatever trial or something that happens, and maybe even held accountable for maybe not having the necessary security or not fulfilling all the safety protocols or some shit like that. I don't know. It's something that a lot of times you think that the life of a billionaire is all free of worries, but not really. I mean, a lot of people want what you have. A lot of people also want your head as well. So yeah, not a situation I can imagine being in myself. Probably will be pretty stressful. But yeah, not as nice as it initially sounds, probably. It's fine. Wonder how many billionaires are completely free of worries and they can just spend all their lives like just, you know, doing whatever they want without worrying of anything. Also, this Fuji Speedway, in this same championship we already... What the hell? Wait, why are you braking like this? Brake checking like that? Shameless. Earlier in this championship we did the 90s version of this track. But this one is supposed to be the current version, and by current I mean when this game released. The one when this game released, so I think they made that corner behind a lot easier. They also asphalt the outside of the track instead of having grass. This corner seems mostly the same, but with the exception of the, as I say, the asphalt instead of grass being on the outside. And then here, basically, the chicanes are non-existent. Instead you have... Well, I mean, you still have the chicane, but this variant in particular doesn't use it. Well, and here, instead of having a smooth corner to the finish line, you have like 3 corners. And the last one being a very pronounced hairpin on an uphill. I gotta say I prefer the 90s version of this track, honestly. This one... Well, there is something that I remember. When I played this game when I was younger and I was an absolute scrub, this track was very good for me because I could go off track all I wanted and there wasn't any grass, so I couldn't be slowed down. I mean, sure, you have grass here, but the rest of the track is asphalt everywhere, so no matter how shit you drive, going off track doesn't imply a speed penalty. Just basically keep going the same speed as always. So yeah, there's that too. I really wonder, like, what's the first event that is gonna feel hopeless to beat in this game? Because so far it has been an extremely smooth journey. Like, differently from Gran Turismo 3, that already the first day I was struggling. Here, well, and in the ones that I struggle, I usually struggle because I want to, because I pick a car that is like weaker on purpose than the best one I have. But I wonder when's the first time that I'm gonna go to an event and be like, wait, I cannot do this, right? When that's gonna happen, it's probably gonna be in the extreme events. Well, either that or those special events that you are given a car and you're supposed to, you know, beat a specific condition. Because right there, you cannot simply cheese it with a super good car. You are given the car, and with that one, you gotta do what you gotta do. There's no other way. Now, the good thing about beating this championship is that I will get a lot of money. I will probably even be able to afford an LMP. I mean, Kyle says that they are 1 million. That's something that I can definitely afford. I mean, not yet, but the point is that with this money I will be very close, because essentially the total winnings for this championship, each race is 25,000 credits. So if you multiply that by 10, it's 250,000. And the price for winning the championship is 100,000. So in total you have 350,000. So I'm obviously not quite close to 1 million yet, but I am very close. And that is assuming that you don't already get a Le Mans prototype reward from an event. Well, Kyle told me that you get the Minolta Toyota from an endurance. But I already say that, like, endurance I'm probably only gonna do one, simply to say, hey, I did an endurance. I don't think I plan on doing more than one. I guess it depends on the reward. And obviously the endurance that I do will be an endurance that I can do in at least less than 3 hours. And there are a lot of them like that. Obviously, as I mentioned before, you have the 24-hour ones, but there are a lot that you can do in like an hour and a half or 2 hours. Like, it's not a problem. Now here, theoretically, let's say that you want to like optimize your time here. What you will do in a championship like this is that you will just pick B-Spec. Like, you will basically go over the radio instead of driving this yourself, because it's pretty clear that this car has no issues winning by itself. But yeah, I mean, why would I want to do that? I'm the one that wants to drive. You don't wanna just sit with my arms crossed and wait for the race to be over by itself. You can speed up. It's not like the reason why it's more optimal with time is because you can play it with like a 4 multiplier in time. So by doing that, you're essentially, you know, doing it 4 times faster, of course. Hey, what's the point? I wanna drive. I wanna race myself. I wanna watch an AI race. I mean, if I wanted to do that, I would like watch a real race, you know, instead of watching an AI play a virtual race. Now that we actually are in the second to last race, it seems like the only one that had an issue with tires was Suzuka Circuit, which actually makes me wonder if the final race is gonna be Suzuka Circuit, like the full version instead of the short one. Because we can already see here that, well, with this and with Twin Ring Motegi, we are already seeing that you can have the same track in a different variant inside of the same championship. So if that's the case, chances that the final track is Suzuka Circuit full version are quite high, and if that's the case, my tires might get worn out again. That's the thing about real races. They are done by real people and not by AI. Well, yeah. That's why they are real. But yeah, the real races... The problem with real races is that it's not that easy to watch them. Usually you need a very specific... Like, you need to pay for a very specific product in order for that to be the case, you know? Like, it's not like you just go to Twitch and there's someone streaming a real race. There's been... wait, actually, the reward for a single race is not 25,000, it's 15,000. My bad. Oh, here, since it's the second to last track, well, and the next one is the last one, we're gonna do a save. So that way, if it decides to crash again on the last one, we already have a save at least closer, and we don't have to redo the whole championship. Though, once I beat this race... Oh yeah, I was right, it's Suzuka Circuit, but the full version. Well, it's only 5 laps though, so chances that my tires are gonna get worn out are not very high. Oh wow. That Nissan Calsonic is being such an asshole in all these races. Like, he doesn't mind doing brake checking, pushing you out of the track, like crashing other drivers. Like, he doesn't care about any of that. Every comeback tactic, he has it, don't worry. The only hard part about the only hard thing on the tires for Suzuka Circuit is that collection of corners at the beginning. Everything else is relatively normal. So something that I find fascinating in tracks like this one is how you have the places that are like a bridge over some other part of the track. Like in this case, this straight that is out to come here, it happens above another portion of the track. Like the kind of engineering that you need for something like this is crazy. Like, it's pretty easy to take these tracks for granted, but I think about what had to be done in order to build this, and I just get mind blown. It's absolutely mind blowing to me. And not just the engineering part, which is about planning and the building itself, but also the amount of material that has to be used for this. Like, the insane amount of asphalt and concrete that you have to pour into this is insane. And a lot of times these tracks are built over natural terrains. Like, a lot of times they don't have that many modifications, but rather they just go with the irregularities that already exist in the terrain that it's built on top of. But a lot of other times they also like just completely modify the shape of the terrain itself. Like, let's say that here there was a mountain in the middle of this road, they get rid of it, so now you can have a like a road. That sort of stuff. I think that it really is mind-blowing. I mean, everything related to races to me is mind-blowing, including the cars themselves. The fact that they exist is a miracle. Definitely a miracle. So why is Konami being credited here? I'm assuming that's because it's the real life advertisement that's there. But I wonder why Konami. I wonder what game Konami made. Yes, you know that when it comes to the PS1 era, there were a shit ton of games that tried to be like official competition games that had the license and everything to have the real life drivers and real cars involved in it. So it's possible that Konami maybe made a game like that, or it's just possible that Konami paid to have the advertisement there and that's it. Because you also have Casio, you know, random brands that are not necessarily related to racing. It's possible that Konami just did that, as it is supposed to simulate the real track. You have what at the time was the advertisement. If Konami was there, it will be here too. Don't step on the grass. Especially not while you're going so fast, you know. I guess we can overall come to the conclusion that this championship was an absolute wash. Like, I absolutely washed up my opponents with pretty much no resistance. So, and here I picked the car that is the same category as my opponent, so you cannot really accuse me of cheating with the car selection. No, I choose pretty much the same car type as my opponent, so here it's basically showing the AI is a little bit lacking on the corners. They really do, like, they pretty much do the corners at slow motion. If it wasn't for the corners, I'm pretty sure that this... let's say that somehow the race was a straight line and didn't have any corners, I'm pretty sure that we will be very close to each other, because the top speed is most likely the same for all of these cars. But yeah, what's not the same is the AI taking corners like they were the most dangerous thing ever. I mean, they kinda are, but I mean they take it not as racing drivers, but rather as, you know, someone that just pick up a car for the first time. Also, this song, Not Listening, Not Anymore. But it's a song that is called Not Listening. sung by someone that I think is called Papa Ranch. Well, I mean, that's the name of the artistic name. And you know what I say? Wait, I feel like I heard this song in another game. And then I say, well, no, it's probably that I heard it on this game back when I was younger. No, I actually did hear it in another game. I mean, I obviously also probably heard it when I was younger, but this is a song that plays in Flatout 2. So I was right. I heard that song in another game. So yeah. Guess my memory is not that bad. Well, it's bad enough to not be able to tell me where I heard it, but good enough to remember that I did hear it in another game. So hey, that's pretty cool. This song, with how little I can hear the background music in this game because it's quite, well, quiet, I think this one has to be my favorite one. I personally really enjoy this type of, like, punk rock. I don't know if you can even call it punk rock. I think some people will call this metal. I guess it is. But yeah, basically something that is neither rock nor metal. Like what's in the middle, whether you call it punk rock or metal or whatever. Like, not heavy metal or rock. Like, whatever is in the middle, I enjoy it a lot. It's something very enjoyable. Alright. Regardless of that, well, that's the end of the championship, so it's important here that in this screen, I save state. Here, save state. Wow, it actually crashed. That's pretty cool. So see, that's why I save state. Though, the question is, if it crash, how will it not crash if I load it again? I feel like it will still crash, because whatever made it crash is probably still there, right? Well, we can try though. Yeah, you can see. Like, loading the state is not enough. Like, already when it gets here, something makes it crash. What is it? I don't know, but you can tell that even reloading the state at this point is not enough. That's pretty weird, but it only happens in championships. I don't know why, but there's something I could do. Well, I mean, not like I have much choice at this point. Let me close the emulator, reopen it. I mean, the worst case scenario, I have the real save from before the last race, and I mean, you can say that it's a pain in the ass that I have to redo the final race, but whatever, I don't mind. I mean, not like it was that long. So here I wanna check if I reload. Wait, hold up. If I reload the state after resetting the game, no, it still crashes. So there is a condition that the game doesn't like there that makes the game crash, and it already made up its mind at that point. So if you save state, it will probably have to be before that. Damn, that's crazy. Well, we will have to redo the final race, unfortunately. I don't mind because it's whatever, but yeah, it's weird that that's the case. Because there are no reports of this particular crash happening. I don't see anything in the wiki that mentions it. So, you know. But now I'm a little bit scared if it might also get fucked here after redoing the race. Because maybe at this point, like just in this championship, we are already fucked. Will be annoying, but yeah, it might be the case. So the strategy will have to be slightly different, I guess. Can save state here, since we already know the previous save state is fucked no matter what. But it's also important because I want to understand why it happens. Well, I don't think we're gonna understand why it happens. Oh, fuck, hold up. There is... Actually, hold up. I was gonna, like, I need to fit something, but... Technically, if I forfeit the... Oh, you do get the money for winning the championship, actually, by doing that. I didn't want to do that, but that's an interesting thing, so hold up. Because I don't want to forfeit the race. Let me see. I will have to reset in order to reload the save. I want to see what happens. Well, I want to see what happens in the same situation as before, but it's just that there is something that you have to adjust every time you open the game here that I forgot this time. But I don't know if you noticed it on stream. Maybe it's not that noticeable on stream because of the bitrate, but by default, this game uses interlace resolution. I'm not sure exactly what the technical side of that means, but essentially it makes it so it looks all blurry and it's very hard to see. So when that happens, you have to turn it into progressive. The screen blinks twice and then it looks better. I don't know why is that. That has to be an emulation thing, I'm assuming, but yeah. I think it probably has to do with the model upscaling. Like, that's the reason why it doesn't look good. I might be wrong, I don't know. Now, that being said, if that crash happens again, the only solution will be like forfeiting the race and getting the championship, but then later having to redo the race individually. And I don't mind doing that, like that's not a problem whatsoever. It's just really weird that it happens that way. Maybe it has something to do with the game's cache. By cache, I mean like the cache memory. Like if you're playing a lot of races in a row, like when it looks for the championship winnings, it's like it overflows or something. Because for the previous championship where that also happened, the solution was, well, to play it again, but like when I played again, it's like it's the first thing I did when I opened the game. So here, maybe now, since it's the first time that I'm gonna do since I opened the game, maybe now it's gonna work properly. Or maybe not and it's gonna crash again. I honestly don't know. It's also important to see when it comes to save states. When you save state earlier, instead of one screen before the crash happens, and then you reload, is it possible that if it crashes once, it's not gonna crash again? Like, it's random, but the thing that decides if the crash happens or not happens when the reward screen loads, right? Because to me this is extremely weird. Like, not even Kyle knows why that happens, and Kyle usually knows this type of technical things. He's very aware of, and especially in a game like this that he likes a lot. Not like I'm playing a random game he doesn't give a shit about. So it's something that obviously shouldn't be happening. It doesn't happen in a real console either, I'm pretty sure. But it decides to be happening here. And yet again, one of the things this emulator has that simply doesn't work well. And it's a shame, but what do you want me to do? What I wanna do is do a save state when I cross the finish line. So that way, if it's something related to loading that, maybe by loading the state it gets fixed, or no. But I think that it's important that I figure out how to combat that, because it's gonna keep happening. If it already happened twice, it's gonna happen a third, a fourth, and a fifth time. And I cannot afford to have that happening without knowing how to deal with it. You know, that's the thing. At least I'm glad I was smart enough to have a real save before the last race. It's only in championships, because you know that yesterday not a single crash happened. That's also because I didn't play a single championship. All of the events that I play were single race events. Well, plus the license test as well, so only in championships and only at the end. Something there, either the emulator or the game doesn't like. What is it? I don't know. But in case this crashes again, as I said, and not even loading state fixes it, I'm just gonna forfeit the race and take the championship. And then later on we can do the final race to not be repetitive now with it. Well, or not even that, I could do it off stream as well. I mean, after all, I already won, so not like there's anything I need to prove. But yeah. Well, then again, nothing I need to prove, especially when these guys are so far behind, you know. I don't think there's anything that you need to believe very badly here. It's pretty obvious that winning against these guys is not a problem. Off track. Don't go off track. Come on. I think that something that I was saying the other day, but this emulator is probably the emulator that gave me the most amount of problem out of all of the emulators I use. At least when it comes to consoles that are either the same time or older than this one. Like when it comes to newer generations like the PS3, PS4 or Xbox 360 emulator, well yeah, they gave me quite some issues. But it makes sense since they are newer. But this PS2 emulator, every time I remember about it, I remember something bad about it. It's like problems were always around this emulator. you know? No matter what. Whatever. It happens. As annoying as it is, it's not much. Not like there is a better alternative. Though, now that I remember about it, there's actually one emulator that somehow manages to be even shittier, and it's from an older console, which is the Sega Saturn emulator. That emulator is so fucking trash, is something else. And that's mostly because nobody cares about the Sega Saturn. It's not like there are a lot of people working on it. Like, that console is rightfully forgotten. Even the Dreamcast emulator works better than the Saturn one. So if there is a game you wanna play and it's a Sega Saturn exclusive, well, you are probably out of luck. But you never know. It could work. I mean, some games work, I think. See, that's the thing. What games would you even play from the Sega Saturn? Because if you want to play something like Sonic R, you can play the PC version of that game that with a couple of patches it works perfectly. So there's no reason to emulate the Saturn version. So at that point, what game is even a Saturn exclusive that you will want to play? I don't know. I think I'm genuinely asking here, guys. I personally cannot think of any. I think Nights into Dreams was in the Sega Saturn, but it's also not an exclusive. Not only that, you can play it on Steam officially, and it works well. The game itself is whatever, I don't like it. Alright, hold up. Here, I think I'm gonna save state even before I cross the finish line. There you go. Just in case the issue happens when it tries to load. Whatever it's trying to load. So let's see what happens here. So the first one, it loads fine, of course, as it already did. But the championship earnings. Okay, this time it loaded well. And as I say, I'm assuming it's because this time I opened the emulator and the game, and the first and only thing I did was this race. Like, it has probably to be an issue with the cache memory. Problem is that how could it be an issue with the cache memory? Like, that doesn't make any sense because you're just loading a simple screen. It's not like you're loading a super big model that takes a lot of space in the cache. Also, what car am I gonna get, I wonder? Nissan Motul Pitwork. So it's still another touring car. I don't know if it's better or worse, but it's pretty similar to the one I just used, just that it's more modern, I guess. Did you encounter a crash before when I wasn't looking? Yeah, the same crash that happened on the first stream. I still don't know the reason why it happened, but at least I was able to circumvent it, so it's not that bad, I guess. Could be worse. But hey, at least that championship is done. But yeah, next time I will try. You know what I should do is probably before the final race, I should completely close the emulator and open it again. Like, not even try the final race of a championship, just close everything, open it again, and then do it. Because at this point it seems to be I mean, I don't have that much of that many cases to draw a conclusion here, but at this point it seems pretty clear that it's related always to the end of a championship. And if you do that championship as the first thing, like that race at least as the first thing you do when you open the game, it works well. Also, the other championship I say that I will do today is the all car championship with this thing. Problem is that in this current state, this car is not good enough to win that championship. What I wonder if is you can install any upgrade, because this shit is extremely old. I don't think you can put a turbo on this, but maybe you can do a... Well, I'm curious though. Actually, you can put a turbo on this thing. What the hell? Can you really put a turbo on this? You can also have a full model, but these are different cars. You know, like, it's not like it's a full tune-up of the current one. But I want to see if there is an engine tune-up. Yeah, there are. Doesn't increase the horsepower by a lot, but it might be enough to win. So that's something we don't know. We will see. I mean, it's just a simple tune-up. I could also have put an intercooler, or does it even have... No, you actually cannot put an intercooler on this thing. Alright, let's see if with this simple tune-up it's enough to win the race. The championship. It was a professional event. Down here, World Series Classic. It's 5 races, right? I think. And as we already saw, these are short races, except for the Nürburgring one. Problem is that these cars are extremely slow, so short is a way of saying, basically. But yeah, I hope that with that tune-up it's enough to win. Because without that tune-up I can guarantee you it couldn't win. We will see. And though the first place, you can already see that the first place is going at its own speed. Like, no fucks given, it's just full speed and he's out of here. How is that allowed? Like, that car is pretty clear it's on a different category here. I know that the only condition is that these cars are, like, not older than... I mean, not newer than the 70s, but how do you beat something like that? Like, this is a straight up cheating. How are you supposed to beat that guy? Hold up. Exactly what car is that one? Let me start. I don't know if it was the one on the first position or on the second one when... It's either the Alfa Romeo or the AC Cars thingy. If we get any of that, we're not winning. And since the opponents are random, you might not get it. So essentially, we gotta retry until we don't get it. It's the only way to do it. Let's see. Well, here there is an AC Cars, but the Alfa Romeo is not there. And the AC Cars starts from... Oh, well, there might be a worse one actually, but no, it's that AC car. That's the one, I recognize the shape. That's the one that is murdering everyone. You can already tell that he goes so fast that he crashes against other cars. So the problem here is that, yeah, you will actually have to block his ass. Look at that. He's doing a disaster with the other competitors. So essentially, if that asshole is part of the championship, you're not winning. Like, you will need that AC car shit to not be part of the championship. You cannot win otherwise unless you have that same car. But like, come on, dude. Like, this is some next level bullshit. Because at that point, every other competitor, why are they even there? They are not even competing. They are just looking. They are spectators. Okay, here that car is not in this lineup. But is there anything worse? Well, every time the points keep getting higher, so there actually might be something worse in here. The green one? I think it's the green one. Yeah, the green one is also just doing its own thing. So is that how it's gonna be? There's always gonna be one of them and you have to eat shit, basically? Because even if I put a turbo on this car, I don't think I can go as fast as that. And he's already gone, like... Okay, and what car is that? Buick Special. Problem is that if we keep adding cars to the list, we're gonna reroll 100 times and it's not gonna work. Because I think that these events are programmed in a way that you always have at least one car that is like that. We will see, maybe we can get lucky, but I don't think it's gonna be the case. Okay, so here there is neither that Buick car or the AC cars. But again, we might add another one to the list. Maybe that Honda is like way faster. Oh, 8-point race, so that means there isn't. That means that we might actually be able to win. But then that's crazy because the difference is day and night. Well, in fact here, I probably could have won without the tune-up against this well, in fact, the tune-up is what's gonna make this free. You can uninstall it, I think, if you want to. Just that now that I have this combination, I need to at least finish this race before I do any uninstalling. Because otherwise you lose the combination and you can get the other cheaters again. But that's unbelievable. That's actually unbelievable that you could get unlucky with the opponents and one of them is like that. Because I thought that, oh, just a single tune-up is enough. No, it isn't even close to enough. That's so messed up, dude. That's extremely messed up. Now, I'm not really sure how you install or uninstall parts. I think you do it in the tune-up section of the manufacturer. Like the same place you got it is the same place that you can unequip it. Or I think that without the tune-up, this could actually be exciting races, actually. It's just that it also seems that ironically, differently from the other races in the previous championship, here it seems like when it comes to top speed, this one beats all of the other ones. But I actually struggle on steering. Like this thing actually feels like my opponents are way better at steering, so without the tune-up, I'm not sure how well I could do it. Because that's a slow corner compared to how these guys take it. It might also be precisely because of the tune-up. Like the tune-up makes it go unnaturally faster, so it struggles on reducing speed for corners, but I don't know. But then that's so crazy. Like you can race against cars that are so ahead of everyone else, or you could simply race against cars that are in your same level. Absolutely insane, to say the least. Like, I will try at least one race without the tune-up, but I do have my doubts if I can win without the tune-up. I feel like without the tune-up, I will be extremely close to those guys that are behind me. I'm not saying that I will lose no matter what, but it will be close to the point that a single mistake can make me lose. Though that's fine, that's what I want. But yeah, like in this particular case, the fact that this opponent combination seems to be very hard to get, it's important. But yeah, let me see, because if you go to settings, it doesn't really... Like these settings, or well, options, whatever, those are not the same options that like you can customize your car. So you have to, like, I will assume they will let me change. Actually, they probably won't. Because it might be possible that, like, I completely, like, change the requirements of the tournament. You know? So they are probably not gonna let me, because let's say that you enter a tournament with a horsepower limit and then you change it. Well, these settings, hold up. These settings might allow me. Oh, so this is how you do it. Alright, so in that case we can put none here and that's it. A shame that I had to spend money on that for no reason, but whatever. It was only like 4,000 credits that I already recovered, so... let's see. I mean, maybe I will get a reality check and get my ass kicked without it, but I don't think so. I think I'm more than fine here. I mean, you can see that, at least when it comes to raw horsepower, this car is very in line with all of the other ones, because I only get 9 points of A spec for this race. So the car that seems to be my rival is that, well, I don't know what color that is, like light blue, I guess. It is light blue, it's just that it's a very specific type of light blue. That one. Oh, hello. It's also as I say that I do the corners slower than my opponents. But I think rather than the corners, it's more about the acceleration. My acceleration is a lot worse, probably. That's where the struggle comes. I think that ironically I might need the tune-up if my idea is to win. But only because of that car. Well, actually, the other ones are getting a little bit closer. The thing that sucks the most about this guy is the acceleration. He really struggles accelerating. And the tune-up simply masks the fact that he struggles with acceleration, because, I mean, he still does, it's just that he's overall faster because the engine is faster. That being said, I'm pretty sure I can win this. It will take a little bit, because the moment I overtake this guy, it will take just a bad corner for this guy to overtake me back, you know? I think it's important to, if possible, not fall too far below 100 kilometers per hour. That's when this thing takes a long time to like speed up again. It's also pretty clear that in this case my only competitor is this guy. The other guys are also just spectators, like they were with that other car. I think that whenever it was there, it wasn't really possible, but whenever it's possible, it's a matter... Well, that's the thing, actually, now that I think about it. It's less about the speed, and I think it's more about the gear. Like, what the problem of this car is that it struggles too much to reach the 4th gear. So that's the issue. When you brake in a way that it makes you downshift like that, there's not much you can do. This guy wants to pass. But yeah, I guess the engine tune-up was not that bad. In fact, the next track is Nürburgring, so I think that using the engine tune-up there will be a good idea. Because Nürburgring, well, I was gonna say Nürburgring is full of corners, but with a car as slow as this one, half the corners might as well not even be there. I actually don't know, should I use the tune-up for that? I think I shouldn't. I mean, honestly, for example, if I use the tune-up on this race, it would have probably gone pretty close to the previous one, where I ended first by quite a lot, but without the tune-up here, I actually had to put a lot of effort into... some effort into winning it. So I'm tempted to leave it without the tune-up. But the next one is Nürburgring. That's the problem. And Nürburgring is an extremely long track. So, like, on top of maybe being, you know, hard to beat it, it's also the fact that if I fail doing it again, because it's gonna be easily 10 minutes per like, well, the single lap that it has is probably gonna be 10 minutes easily. I think against my better judgment I'll do it without the tune-up. But I don't know, dude. Especially there's also a lot of uphills like this. I feel like I gotta use the tune-up here. Because, as I said, it's less about the track itself and more about the fact that I will have to redo this if I don't win. And that's the thing that terrifies me. Redoing this race is something I don't wanna do. And it especially starts with a rolling start, meaning that reaching the first place will be even harder. So yeah, I think that it was the right call to use tune-up here. But I guess in that case it wasn't a waste of money after all. That's good to know. Though in terms of the point difference, there's only a 10-point difference. There's not more than that. But man, this is something that is crazy to me. Like, doing a racing Nürburgring or Schleife with these things, this might as well be an endurance race. You know? We might as well be doing an endurance. The question is how long I'm gonna take to reach the first place. If I can even reach him. That's the other thing. I will repeat, this is a track with a lot of corners, and this car sucks at acceleration. So there will be a lot of times where we need good acceleration and we are not gonna have it. So how long will it take me to reach it? And will I be able to reach it? I think that at the end of the day, as long as I don't make any mistakes, I will assume that when the long straight at the end comes, that will be enough to overtake, but I'm also not sure if my top speed is faster than his. It might not be. I mean, I'm seeing him now, and it seems that in terms of top speed we are relatively equal, but we're only equal because of the engine tune-up, not for any other thing. But I also think that this is the perfect example of why the A-spec points that you get for beating a race are completely worthless, because winning this race, or rather winning this race with the 100 point that you get for having the other guy as the opponent, like, you're not winning that race. Like, no matter how good you are, you're not winning that race. It's impossible. So at that point, in this particular case, it's you either get 9 or 8 points like this, or you get nothing. Though I don't know if the points are awarded even if you don't win. Maybe they are. But yeah, it's still something that... yeah. Yeah, and you will see this. This guy will be very close to overtaking me back a lot of times, simply because of all these corners. Alright, but yeah, I think I'm glad to know that the engine tune-up wasn't a waste of money, even though it was so little money. But it was the right call. Because I don't think it gets any easier than this. Like, this guy that is behind me is probably the easiest fast opponent that you can get. Any other one is like the other ones that just went full speed and they were already out of your sight. Well, here, unless I make a mistake, it seems pretty clear I'm gonna win the race with no issues. But I guess the question in that regard is, how long is the lap gonna be? Like, I personally think it's gonna be 10 minutes, but it might not even be 10 minutes. It might be more than 10 minutes. It is absolutely ridiculous. Like, having a slow as car like this one in Nürburgring. It's like Kyle said the other day, you might as well be doing it in horseback, you know? And I like the fact that we have a 3-second difference, but these cars are so slow that you can see him while looking back. If it was a 3-second difference with a regular racing car, you wouldn't be seeing him this close. These things are so stupidly slow. There's not much that they can do. I am of course curious to see if without the tune-up this would have been winnable, but I feel that it would have been way too risky. And since you already seen how fast that guy is on a straight, I think that even if I overtook him before the last straight, he will probably overtake me back. That was a little bit too slow. could have done that faster. I find the engine sound to be pretty funny. At this point, and that's a huge difference. Maybe the tune-up here was indeed an exaggeration, but I mean, it's either that or potentially retrying this, so no. I think I'd rather not. I mean, depending on what tracks are the next ones, I'm gonna remove it. But yeah, don't worry about it. Well, it's also wild to see the other competitors in the minimap. Because, I mean, looking at it like that, you might think that they are not that far, but with how huge Nürburgring is, I'm pretty sure that that's more of 1 minute of difference. Like the two guys that are on 5th and 6th place, those guys are definitely like 1 minute away from me. But yeah, that's wild. So it's quite misleading the fact that the difference is 10 seconds, but that guy just went through the carousel. It's just the fact that, as I say, these cars are extremely slow. So will he be able to, you know, gain some difference in this trade? Is he actually faster on top speed or is he not? Well, even if he's faster, he might get closer, but he's clearly not gonna overtake. There is no chance. So 16 seconds at the start of the straight. So how much is it gonna be at the end of the straight? So it seems that I was right with my forecast. This is most likely gonna be 10 minutes. So not bad. Like, could have been a lot worse. No, actually my top speed is higher. So yeah, the tune-up might have been overkill for this. But not 10 minutes, but 9 minutes and 41 seconds, to be precise. Alright. It wasn't that bad. Guess I greatly exaggerated at the beginning. Hey, don't worry. It's okay. Alright, so next race, which one are we talking about here? Côte d'Azur. Wait, this is Monaco? In 2 laps. I'll remove it. I'll remove the tune-up. So also keep in mind here that this track has very slow hairpins that will take a a very long time to record, and this is a rolling start as well, so there is a decent chance that I will lose this. You should make a coffin. Well, do it. What's stopping you? This comfy ass bed. Well, unless you have a butler, you will have to do it yourself, mister. Right, the car is still there. The thing that I'm worried is this group of hairpins here, where this car is just gonna, well, obviously slow down to a crawl, but I don't think he will be able to recover. Like, that's the main issue with this thing. Maybe this is where the lack of tune-up might be a regret. Because now the problem is that if I play this race individually, we'll have to get lucky to not get any of the other guys again. So, yeah, that's an issue. Yeah, and also this chicane is a problem too. Did you finish the specials 1 and 2? No, I didn't. I did not. I mean, I'll do them at some point later. At some other time, I mean. They are really not in my priority. This is pretty clear that I should have done the tune-up. Mostly because of all these slow-ass corners. That's the issue. It's nothing more than that. This one is lightweight. No, this one is old. This one is the old championship. I don't know if this one will qualify as lightweight. You know the amount of metal these things have? Not sure if they will be lightweight. Maybe they are. No, I didn't do lightweight. I don't think I did, at least. Yeah, I ain't winning this one. Yeah, the problem now will be getting this combination of cars again and not getting the other monsters. Well, it is what it is. I mean, the championship, I obviously don't have any danger of not winning it. I'll definitely win it even if I get second on these 2 races, but yeah. This race is not gonna be win. The fact that the game doesn't tell you the size of the car is quite I don't know why it doesn't when it tells you the weight. I don't know why it couldn't tell you the size. And this chicane is so ass to do, dude. It really is. But it's fine. Have to buy it and check the sales specs. Also, the sales specs tell you that, so I was right about that. Just that it's a very dangerous button, but yeah, I guess it's the one that tells you. Yeah, it will be nice to also get it samples. But unfortunately, this is one of those that I should have gotten the tune-up. Damn it. And this one is interesting because here... Oh, and that's also another good thing. When you lose a race, you don't get points at all. You get 0 points. Pretty interesting. I choose 0. I should have used the tune-up, obviously. And this one is Laguna Seca. I mean, honestly, at this rate, I don't care. I'm just getting the tune-up. The problem, as I said, is retrying that other race and not having those other monsters cars show up. Oh, and another thing. Hold up. I gotta save in case it crashes again. I almost forgot. The tuna is tasty, don't know how well it can race on land. I don't know. But no, I meant the tune-up, not tuna. Close enough, I guess. Tune-up. I might have thrown a golden opportunity to the trash with the previous race. Because now having these opponents here instead of the other cheating bastards will be a problem. I guess it's very... Wow, what are these guys doing? I guess it's very inconsistent and it heavily depends on the race. Because in Nürburgring that guy got obliterated with the tune-up. And without the tune-up he probably would have been close, but in Monaco I didn't stand a chance, basically, at all. This one might also be close, actually. It might be possible that I might need to retry this race even if I win it, if it decides to crash again. We will see how it goes. I really would like to race against this same car in Monaco. Even if the other cheating cars don't show up, I want my opponent to be this one to see how hard it will be to beat it. Hey, how dare you close me like that? And you know, now that I think about it, that previous race that I got second place was the first one that I did. But it was because I self-nerfed myself. I tried to be merciful on my opponents, though ironically I'm pretty sure that with the tune-up included, it would have been close. I don't think I would have won for free. Don't know. Also, before I cross the finish line in this race, I'm gonna save state in case it decides to crash again. Well, in case you weren't here earlier, Kyle. What the fuck? Oops. That's a problem. Nah, that's fine. We can block. And I was about to say, the championship crash happened again, though right now the only thing I needed to do was redo the last race and that's it. So it wasn't as painful as the first stream, but yeah, essentially it can easily happen. ever happened to me. It seems like it happens consistently at the end of a championship. And it might be related to the amount of time that you are playing in a session. Because once I reopened the emulator and redid the race, I didn't have any trouble. Well, without crashing, I mean. So yeah. Alright, so we get the championship. Oh yeah, fuck. There you go. I saved state before crossing the finish line. I almost forgot. Alright, so we will see what happens now. And in worst case scenario, we have a save state even before the race result was decided. Because I made a save state here in the other one, and every time I reloaded it, it kept crashing, so... Okay, this time it didn't crash at least. And you get 50,000 for winning this thing. Alright. But more importantly, what car do you get for this? I'm assuming it's gonna be an old car, right? Hopefully a lightweight as well. Will be useful. Mercedes-Benz... Oh, nice. This car is useless. Well, in case you needed someone to tell you that. But that car, unfortunately, is a special car. And even if it wasn't a special car, it's not gonna win a single race. But hold up, the real problem here... I don't think any of these opponents is a problem. Unless the Shinetta is a problem. I don't know what... Oh, okay, the Shinetta might be a problem. Well, we will see though. I think it's the Shinetta, the one that makes this unwinnable. A Nürburgring on that one, 10 laps. I think I'd rather do a 24 hours. Wait, is it the Shinetta or is it... No, yeah, I think it is the Shinetta. It's the yellow car if I'm not mistaken. The one that is in first place doesn't seem... Actually, I'm not... Yeah, no, the yellow car is the troublemaker here, I think. The other ones seem reachable, right? I mean, I don't know yet. I think I'm drawing conclusions too early. I mean, they are within reach, it looks like, right? In fact, that car that is on the lead, isn't it the same model as the car that was in the championship? I think it is. Problem is that this car, even with the engine tune-up, it still struggles on acceleration. So why? Is it because of the yellow car that you get this many points? Or maybe actually the guy that just overtook the leader, is that the troublemaker? I think he actually is. So, I'm not sure what car that is. But yeah, it cannot be the yellow one. I mean, if it was the yellow one, he would have overtook me already. And he didn't, so... No, it's clearly that guy. I will check the run and see if I can avoid it next time. So now it makes me think if I could have won, because... As I say, the car that is there now in second place, no longer in the lead, I think that's the same car that was in the championship. And you can see that I'm struggling to reach him. The one that is first place is unreachable. Alright, what car is that one? Oh, it doesn't show up. Well, the shape is recognizable at least, but... Damn it, I don't know which one it was. At least I do remember the previous ones. One was AC Cars and the other one was like a weird 5-letter name that I... Okay. Maybe the troublemaker is the spider here. Alfa Romeo. No, okay, this one is a 9-point race, so I'm assuming that none of this is a monster. But it still might be harder to win. No, actually, the Alfa Romeo is the guy that was in the championship. So at least I do get my rematch here, but with the tune-up. That's good to know. Well, good to know and good to do. I might, as I say, still not be able to win. You can easily tell that the issue is this track, Monaco, for having such slow corners. Like, this thing cannot deal with slow corners, basically. And when I say slow corners, I really mean slow corners, because you know that there are corners in other tracks that will be considered slow corners for a racing car, and not for this one. But these corners are slow even for this car. So you can tell they are extremely slow. They are not just the normal amount of slow, you know? We're talking about some seriously slow corners. I don't know, dude. I feel like it's not gonna be enough. Like, unfortunately, this thing's acceleration really sucks. So how is it going, Nacho? Yeah, I don't know if I can. I'll see. Yeah, this particular race seems like it's a real challenge. Doesn't help that the Monaco chicane is probably one of the hardest chicanes there are. That chicane is a safety hazard in itself. Yeah, this thing has turbo. I could install a turbo, it's just that I don't wanna invest money into this thing that I'm probably never gonna use again, you know? That's what I don't wanna do. Like, I feel like already spending money on the engine tune-up was already an exaggeration. But yeah, spending it on a turbo feels like an even bigger exaggeration. But you might be right that I might actually need it to win this. We will see though, because on the next corner I can probably reach this guy. I have slipstream here. I might be able to reach him before the next slow corner. Or I should clarify, I need to reach him before the next slow corner, because otherwise I don't think I'm winning. Come on. Well, I will have to do a terrorist attack here. We'll have to commit terrorism. I had to. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't have reached him at all. Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't want to, I was forced. They forced my hand. Don't worry about money, there is a grinding method. And I don't wanna grind, dude. Grinding is lame, even if it doesn't take a long time. Grinding is just something in fact, already redoing this race is something that I don't like precisely because of the extra money I'm gonna get. Like, I want to experience the progress in the intended way. Well, obviously you could tell that the devs intended you to grind events, sure. But I'd rather do it in a smooth way, you know? Right, so it seems that this one, we are gonna win it, but as I say, if it wasn't because of that act of terrorism, like that dive bomb that I did, I don't think I would have won this. If I had an overtake when I did, this guy would probably still be in first place. Well, you're gonna grind the Sunday Cup for an LMP. No, but as I said, I don't want to do the brand races. It's what I tell you, that I precisely don't want to do brand races because I don't want to grind. Well, that, and because there are a shit ton of them. That also doesn't look very attractive. But yeah. Alright, we got that. So now, well, I could check if this car can enter the lightweight competition, but it's as I say before, cars from this era were done with metal. I don't think this shit is... Well, you can already tell that it doesn't... it's not enough for the one that has a length limit. I know there was one that had a weight limit, but I also don't think... Let me check the weight of this thing. Because I think this is a heavy car. It's a full metal car, isn't it? Weight. Yeah, well, I mean, it's more than 1 ton, so... right now... these two cars are special cars. Well, and so is this one. Oh, and it's from 1886. No, not even 1986. But yeah, the only one that can enter... I think there is one competition that has a 1 ton limit. The only one that could enter it is the Lupo. And the Lupo is trash, so... that ain't gonna happen. Though I guess now... I could end the stream now, but I could also, just for completion's sake, I could do that rally thing that was in like a street track, like do the reverse version, so at least I complete that. Last time I did it with a racing car that completely obliterated my opponent, but to have a more balanced race I should use something like this. Because the opponent in that race is a Toyota Celica. I think this car is very balanced for that. It's a special condition, right? Yeah, so this one, I did the normal version, but I didn't do the reverse version, because I didn't want to feel repetitive, right? So this one, if the opponent is the Celica, I think the NSZ should be close enough, right? Actually, it's the Lancia Delta. It's close enough to the Celica. Shouldn't be that different. In fact, you know, the funny thing is that I don't know if this is made on purpose, but both the Toyota Celica and the Lancia Delta are the two cars, the only two cars you can use in the original Sega Rally Championship. I don't know if they did this on purpose, but if they did, good shit. Keep in mind that here, the relatively hard part about this race is that any strong hit is considered a penalty. And overtaking, as you can see in such a narrow road, is very hard. So rather than speed, like rather than being faster than your opponent, the hard part is getting past your opponent. Obviously, with the racing car, I obliterated this guy because the racing car is just that fantastic, you know. Wait, that guy hit the wall. I saw it with my own eyes. Well, to be fair, so I did, and I didn't get penalized. I think a better opponent for this race would have been the... come on. Would have been the Nismo. Like, the Nismo will probably be very close to the car's speed. Oh, fuck. Okay, that wasn't a penalty, thankfully. But some of these corners are criminal. Like, these are criminal corners. It's actually hard to overtake, or rather to overtake without getting penalized. Okay, now we do it on this straight, got it. Though now you have to maintain the lead, and if you wanna maintain the lead, you gotta not hit the walls, and with a car this fast, and that it doesn't have the insane downforce that the racing car has, it might be hard. Not to mention, this is an MR car. The MR drivetrain is known for being probably the hardest one to... the hardest one to control. Like, MR cars is like they are skating on ice. And if it wasn't for the fact that there's probably racing aids enabled, like, you know, traction control or whatever, this thing will be oversteering in every single corner. Like, the only thing that is keeping it in check is the racing aids it most likely has. Yeah, and even with the superiority of this car over the Lancia Delta, it's still, you know, not that far from me. That's simply because how rough this track is. This is not an easy track at all. Okay. Apparently this should... Well, Kyle told me that this gives me a good car as a reward for beating these two events. I don't know what car that's gonna be, but we will see. I mean, I'm surprised that if it is a good reward, because it's not like this event is particularly hard to beat, you know? Wouldn't say it's particularly hard. Hey, what is it? What is the reward here? Oh, what the hell? And those pseudo loading screens that go to the negative dimension are quite scary. Alright. What you gonna give me? The first two are decent, the following ones not so much. Okay. We will see. Cadillac CN. Oh, was this the one you were mentioning? Like, this one was like a car used by pro players and shit? It might be. So Cadillac is an American company, right? If it's American, we can see if it can enter some of these events. Was that the American events? Yeah, like for example this one, it could enter. I think of the American cars that I have, that one is probably the fastest, right? Hold up. A region is... Oh yeah, country it has. Like, the DeLorean is not fast enough. I don't think this Pontiac is fast enough either. Yeah, the Cadillac is indeed American. Now the question is, what's the horsepower? What the hell? Bro, really? Like, just for doing those two extremely easy races, you get this monster? It seems a little bit of an exaggeration. Like, yes, this is clearly gonna win that series, but I don't wanna, you know, obliterate those guys. Pro players can beat the GT series with that. Well, yeah, no shit. Anyone can do that. Also, I really like that this carriage has 1 horsepower, probably because it's a carriage that... Well, this one has an engine, but back then it wouldn't be much different than having a horse pushing it, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, I'm not gonna use this unless it's in an event that requires an American car and requires a lot of speed. But otherwise, I'm like not even giving the other guys a chance, you know? But unfortunately, the other American cars, which are the Pontiac and the DeLorean, I don't think that are at the level that might be required on that competition. That thing is heavy as shit, so LMP can still... Well, yeah, but if LMP is the only barrier, like, it's broken as shit. I mean, you're essentially comparing it to the fastest category in the game. So yeah, obviously LMP is faster. It's kind of like that Nismo racing car. That car is probably good for every event except the ones that have you drive against LMP, obviously. I mean, if we were to do this, and I'm pretty sure even this one, like, they will get obliterated, my opponents, basically. Like, there is no way they can win. But yeah, that being said, I did the 2 championships I wanted to do, so that will be it for me for today. I'm not sure what I should do tomorrow, though. Actually, I think I should plan it now before I go out. What should I try? We already know that this lightweight thingy, I don't think any of the cars I have apply. This one requires specific cars, and this one is convertibles only, and I don't think I have a single one of those. What about the professional ones? Like this tuning car I could do. What is the tuning car? I think that I don't have a middle ground here. Like, I either obliterate my opponents or I get obliterated. I guess I could try using it. Like the one you're telling me, I could use it here, but I don't think that's a good idea. I could also use the turbo one, but I don't know. Like, it seems that most of this will require me to purchase a new car. Well, there's also a supercar festival, but it only applies to production cars, so using the racing Nismo doesn't apply. Oh, that's interesting. To win all the other ones to be able to enter that one. I mean, it makes sense, but it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not sure which one I should do tomorrow, actually. I also don't think I have many European cars either, so I don't think that... Like, it seems that I will have to actually purchase a car. Which one, I don't know. But I will have to. I'm more of a Tune Force GT user. Yeah, the Force GT will also be a... How expensive is it? Because the Force GT seems like a cool idea. I will assume that it's not in new cars, because it's... Oh, actually it is. There's a 2005 version, huh? That's 550 horsepower MR. Well, this one is a concept car and you cannot use it. I mean, you cannot purchase it. But if you go to classics, you can purchase the other one. Okay, you cannot purchase it, never mind. And also get this shit. I don't know, honestly, which one we're gonna do tomorrow. I feel like it's something that I should think to myself, probably. But yeah, it most likely will involve using a car. Maybe use car in historical showroom. Yeah, maybe it's gonna be there. I don't know. But yeah, in any case, we're gonna see that tomorrow. So, thanks everyone a lot for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next stream. So, have a good one, and take care.